If you don't like hearing about sanctions but still care about global stability, this is a story you can't ignore. The world is more interconnected than ever, and what happens in one country can send shockwaves across continents. Iran's current crisis is a perfect example of how international politics, economics, and the daily lives of millions are all tangled together. The story of Iran today is not just about numbers or headlines, it's about real people, real struggles, and the delicate balance that holds our global community together. When a nation as pivotal as Iran faces turmoil, the effects can ripple outward, touching everything from the price of gas at your local station, to the safety of shipping lanes, and the stability of entire regions. So, stick around, because whether you realize it or not, the fate of Iran's economy, its people, and its government could have ripple effects that reach your own community. The choices made in Tehran, Washington, Brussels, and beyond are shaping the world you live in, even if you're thousands of miles away. Understanding what's happening in Iran isn't just about following the news, it's about understanding the forces that shape our shared future. Let's break down what's really happening in Iran, and why the world is watching so closely. The headlines might seem distant, but the reality is unfolding in the lives of ordinary people every single day. From the bustling markets of Tehran to the quiet villages in the countryside, the impact of these events is being felt everywhere. On September 26, the United Nations reimposed snapback sanctions on Iran, a move that's been years in the making. These sanctions are not just a simple punishment, they're a complex web of restrictions that target Iran's ability to trade, access international banking, and develop its nuclear and military programs. The decision was not made lightly. It followed years of negotiations, broken promises, and mounting distrust between Iran and the international community. The snapback mechanism was designed as a last resort, a way to pressure Iran back into compliance with global agreements. But for many, it feels like a return to an era of confrontation and hardship. The main focus is Iran's nuclear program and its military capabilities, but the impact goes far beyond government buildings and military sites. As these sanctions take hold, inflation in Iran has soared above 40%, making everyday life a struggle for millions. Factories are shutting down, international companies are pulling out, and the country's vital oil exports have plummeted. The sanctions are designed to cut off funding for Iran's nuclear ambitions, but they also choke the flow of goods, medicine, and technology that ordinary people depend on. The result is a society under immense pressure, where hope is in short supply and uncertainty is the new normal. The Iranian rial, once a symbol of national pride, is now in freefall. Unemployment is rising, and for many ordinary Iranians, basic goods like bread, rice, or medicine are becoming hard to find, or simply too expensive to afford. Shelves that were once stocked with imported products now sit empty, and even local goods are out of reach for many. Pharmacies struggle to keep life-saving medicines in stock, and parents worry about how to feed their children. The economic pain is everywhere, visible in the faces of shoppers, the empty stalls in markets, and the long lines outside bakeries. For families, shop owners, and workers, these renewed sanctions aren't just political, they're personal. Every day people are forced to make impossible choices, pay for medicine or pay rent, buy food or save for emergencies. The pressure is relentless, and the sense of uncertainty is growing. Small businesses, once the backbone of Iran's economy, are closing their doors. Parents are skipping meals so their children can eat. The social fabric is being stretched to its limits, and the psychological toll is just as severe as the financial one. The pain is not limited to the poorest. Even middle-class Iranians who once enjoyed a degree of comfort are now feeling the squeeze. Savings are evaporating and dreams of a better future are slipping away. University graduates are struggling to find jobs, and professionals are considering emigration as their prospects dim. The sense of frustration is palpable, as people who worked hard to build a stable life now find themselves on the edge of poverty. The middle class, often seen as the engine of progress, is shrinking, and with it, the hope for a more prosperous and open society. Many Iranians are drawing comparisons to the economic chaos of the 1979 revolution, when the country was rocked by protests, shortages, and uncertainty. For older generations, the memories are vivid, and for the young, the fear is real that history could repeat itself. Stories of hardship are being passed down, and the sense of déjà vu is haunting. The lessons of the past are shaping the choices people make today, as they brace for what might come next. The specter of unrest looms large, and the government is keenly aware of the risks. Behind closed doors, fear is growing, not just of hunger, but of war. The sense of anxiety is palpable. People are stocking up on essentials, keeping cash at home, and making plans for what to do if things get worse. Conversations that once focused on daily life now turn to survival strategies and contingency plans. Community leaders are quietly organizing, and families are discussing what to do if violence erupts. The atmosphere is tense, and the sense of foreboding is impossible to ignore. Recent confrontations with Israel, U.S. airstrikes, and threats of severe retaliation from Iranian leaders have only added fuel to the fire. The region is on edge, and every new headline brings fresh worries. The possibility of a wider conflict is no longer just a distant fear, it's a real and present danger. Each escalation, each threat, sends shockwaves through neighborhoods and markets, as people wonder if the next day will bring peace or chaos. Anxiety has reached new heights. People are bracing for more than just empty shelves. They're worried about bombs and bullets, about the safety of their children, and about the future of their country. The threat of violence is no longer abstract. It's something people are preparing for in their daily lives. Schools are running emergency drills, and families are making plans to reunite if communications go down. The sense of vulnerability is everywhere, and the desire for stability has never been stronger. The threat of conflict is no longer abstract. It's something people are preparing for, even as they hope it never comes. The government has increased security measures, and the presence of military vehicles on city streets is a constant reminder of the risks. Some families are sending loved ones to safer areas, while others are determined to stay and protect their homes. The choices are difficult, and the stakes are incredibly high. Meanwhile, Iran's government is scrambling to respond. Officials have recalled diplomats, threatened to leave international agreements, and issued fiery statements to rally the public. Behind the scenes, there is a flurry of activity as leaders try to navigate the crisis, balance competing interests, and maintain control. The government is under immense pressure, both from within and from the outside world, and every decision is being watched closely. President Pezeshkian has tried to strike a balance, insisting that Iran will remain in the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, for now. But the pressure from hardliners is intense, and the path forward is anything but clear. The president faces criticism from all sides. Some demand a tougher stance against the West, while others call for compromise and dialogue. The political landscape is shifting rapidly, and the risk of miscalculation is ever present. The diplomatic standoff is deepening. Europe and the US are demanding that Iran comply with international agreements, while Iran accuses the West of hypocrisy and double standards. The atmosphere is tense, and trust is in short supply. Negotiations are fraught with suspicion, and every word is weighed carefully. The stakes are enormous, and the margin for error is razor thin. The world's major powers are watching closely, knowing that a single misstep could trigger a crisis with global consequences. Iran is refusing to back down. The government insists it will defend its sovereignty and its right to develop its own technology. For many Iranians, this is a matter of national pride, but for others, it's a dangerous gamble that could lead to disaster. The debate is raging not just in parliament, but in homes, cafes, and online forums. Some see resistance as the only path to dignity, while others fear the cost will be too high. The nation is at a crossroads, and the choices made now will shape its future for generations. What happens next could reshape the Middle East and impact the world. The stakes are enormous, not just for Iran but for global security, energy markets, and the fragile balance of power in the region. The outcome of this crisis will influence everything from the price of oil to the prospects for peace in neighboring countries. It will test the resolve of world leaders, the resilience of ordinary people, and the strength of international institutions. The world is watching, and the consequences of every decision will be felt far beyond Iran's borders. Stay informed, share your thoughts in the comments, and remember, in a globalized world, no crisis is ever truly isolated. Your voice matters. Let's keep the conversation going. As we witness these historic events unfold, it's more important than ever to seek understanding, foster dialogue, and support those affected by conflict and hardship. The story of Iran is a reminder that our destinies are intertwined and that the choices we make, individually and collectively, can shape the course of history.